Craig Adams here from Wedding Film School, and today I'm going to show you this brand new update I just made for the gear page on the Wedding Film School website. I've got a starter kit for people starting out and the cheapest amount of gear that you need to shoot a wedding in my opinion, and then what I call my professional kit, which is a little more expensive, very thorough, and pretty much everything I wish I would have to shoot a wedding. The Sony a7S Mark II just has more features than the 5D Mark III. The quality's there, the 4K's there, the moving screen, there's so many different things that are just a step up from the 5D Mark III, but you still have that small form factor, and it's not as much as a C100, and it's not as cumbersome and large, so I think it's great for weddings. But I still use Canon lenses, so we've got this Metabones adapter. So you just put that in between the lens and the camera, and that just allows you to use the Canon lenses that I have listed within this kit, just because I'm so particular with the glass that I already have, and I think Canon is pretty good with their glass. When you buy the camera, I'm sure that you will get batteries, but it's always good. People complain a little bit about the battery life, that's why we have the grip, but make sure you get some extra batteries, maybe 5 or 6 even. Maybe even more, and then an extra battery charger. I think it's good to have 2. Sticking with the camera section, the cards that I recommend are these SanDisk, 128 gigabytes. You put it in and you kind of use that entire card for the wedding. Because in my opinion, when you take the card in and out and try to dump and do all these things on the shoot, so in my opinion, it's good to have the Zeiss 50 1.4. This is a really good lens to get that 1.4 really shallow depth of field. It's got a really smooth ring. I hate the Canon version. The Sigma one I haven't tried as much, but this is, a lot cheaper than the Canon one too, and I think just as good. For wide angle, the 16 to 35 is what I recommend. You have a good range between super wide with 16. I would barely use that on a full frame, but sometimes it's cool. And then, 24 millimeter, 35. So it's a good mix for the wide. I would use that on GlideCam, Ronin, the slider. And then of course the staple of any lens kit for wedding shooters is a 70 to 200. The ceremony lens, I use it for speeches, for toasts, but I also put it on a slider. I use it for event coverage, just like FaceTime stuff at cocktail and just roaming around on a monopod. It's a really, really good sniping lens because 70 to 200 is perfect for any distance situation where you don't want to interact with the subject or shoot them without them even knowing that you're covering it. But the last thing that I recommend within that is the 100 macro, because sometimes you really want the close-up detail, the texture, the ring shots, and I also think that paired with the 50 is really good for the morning prep. The lenses are much smaller and lighter. You can swap them out quicker than you can with the 70 to 200, and it's still very sharp, and the 2.8 works for indoor prep. This carbon fiber tripod is super light and awesome. I love it. I've used it before on weddings. It's really like the Mercedes-Benz of tripods. And then the cheapest you can go before you start going into like Sheckler and all of the crazy expensive spreaders and whatever. But this tripod is super light, super quick, and I loves it. This carbon fiber comes with this Manfrotto fluid head. I think it's the 401, and it's the smallest yet most effective tripod head that I've used. I've tried the bigger, I think a 501 version, and it might be a little overkill in my opinion. This 401 is freaking awesome. And then that tripod head is on this Manfrotto monopod. It's like, every shooter has this. You've got to have those 3 legs. It can go very tall. I'm a 6'2", I'm tall. It works for me, but it's what you're going to be using probably for most of the day. But I do recommend getting a Manfrotto fluid head in addition to the one you have on your tripod and the one you have on your monopod, because I like this Edelkrone slider. It's the one that gets longer, has more, so it can slide longer than it is wide. It's kind of hard to explain, but I've got a whole review for it. I recommend the Medium Pro, and then I recommend putting this Manfrotto fluid head on top of it. And what I also do is put one of these Manfrotto plates on the bottom of this slider so that you can take the slider and put it directly on the tripod when you need to. Also within support, I recommend the Ronin M. So I've moved past that from GlideCam, and boy is it smooth and boy is it awesome. It does take a little more time and it can complicate things a little bit, but if you're quick and you know what you're doing, you know, it is awesome. It can give you some really good looks, and it's perfect. The M version is the cheapest you can get and still do the job with a camera this small. So it fits right on, you know, it's awesome. And I also love the DJI Phantom 3. You know, there may be a new Phantom, like a new drone coming out soon, but this is like the best for weddings. It's the cheapest yet most effective. That's a theme that you're gonna find a lot. Like, I don't wanna spend too much money, but I wanna do things right. So next, a lot of people ask me about the audio. You know, there's a lot of different audio pieces within this kit, and it's really helpful for me to take a second and kind of explain all the different, you know, bits and pieces that you need. So I love the Rode Link. I'm actually using it right now. I've got the transmitter in my pocket and then the receiver's right on the 1DX, which I'm recording to right now. But yeah, I've got 2 of these right now, and honestly, I'm expanding to 3, maybe 4, because I put these right on the groom for the first look, the groom, the officiant, and the readings podium for ceremony. And then I will sometimes back up speakers for the toasts at the receptions and put the transmitters right on there, just because you can't always trust what the DJ is doing with their stuff. But yeah, they're great. The kit comes with a microphone and a transmitter receiver, and then you can plug that into mini jack 3.5 or XLR. And that's why I have this adapter. So it comes with the 3.5, you can plug that into this adapter, and then this can go into any XLR port. The XLR port will be this Zoom H6. It has 4 inputs for XLR, which is awesome. You know, that's 4 Rode links. You could have 4 audio sources going directly into the Zoom H6, and that's perfect. The preamps are great, the sound quality is great. I love this, and it's like the smallest yet most features and exactly what I need. You could have some mixers that are much bigger and Tascam stuff, but I just like the Zoom H6. As far as recording audio coming from a board, whether it's at the ceremony or the reception, you still use the Zoom H6, but to connect the mixer to your Zoom H6, there can be a couple different situations. That's why I have all of the options available. Quarter to stereo quarter, and then I have this quarter to RCA. So the RCA could be at their mixer, and then the quarter just goes right into the Zoom H6. You could have quarter coming from the mixer, and then the quarter goes right into the Zoom H6. So it's very easy. I've got everything. And then also this 10-foot XLR cable is like the super backup, because sometimes their board can be weird or something, but they'll always have the big speakers, and the speakers, I have always seen an XLR out. So you can just take that XLR right to XLR into your Zoom H6. Done. So an audio accessory that I really recommend are these Ryoko undercovers, because you can put a clip on and then see the mic, but if you have these Ryokotes, it makes it really, really easy to hide the microphone and just put that directly on your talent. Super sticky, you know, you throw them away after you use them, so it can be a little expensive, but they're really professional. And also one other accessory that's really important for the Zoom H6 is this external battery power. You put that right next to the Zoom H6 and you just plug that, connect that with a USB cable, and you can power your recorder, you know, the whole day. You've got to have a ton of AA's for the Rode links, and then also for the Zoom H6. And then also, I love this Rode VideoMic Pro for on top of your DSLR, because you can just use the 9 volts and then charge those with the rechargeables right here. I love to put all of these accessories into this vinyl bag. It seems stupid, but I've got like 10 of them, and they make me so happy because I keep them organized, very compact, and I can also see into the bag. I keep my media in this little wallet, very easy, and I keep my batteries in this holder. I am so like crazy when it comes to organization, so it's important to me, but totally worth it. As far as organization, this label maker is like what I do. I shouldn't be moving the hard drive, but you can see Yavin, and then I put, you know, my name and then how big the hard drive is. I label everything. This roller bag holds all my support items. This camera backpack, holds all my cameras and lenses. And then I also put, you know, all of my audio stuff in this Pelican case, anything that doesn't fit into the backpack or roller. And then, you know, with those three things, backpack on my back, roller in this hand, and then Pelican in this hand, I can shuttle all this gear by myself on a subway, into a car. I'm pretty mobile with it. As far as computers, you know, I'm a big fan of the Apple MacBook Pro. I like to keep things portable. I think this has enough power to edit. I'm not sure how it's handling 4K. With the 1DX, it's okay. I make it work. I definitely see a difference between that and the 1080p, but I'm still happy with it. Have a mouse, have a sleeve, have the hard drives. So what I like is this. So this is a solid state. 500 gigabytes is big enough for definitely one project, you know. I'm a fan of having one really, really fast drive, and that's what this is, solid state Thunderbolt. It's awesome. I've done some speed tests and it blows all my other hard drives out of the water. And, you know, you just need one drive that can hold, you know, your biggest project. So 500 gigabytes is bigger than any project that I have for a wedding. So that's good. The one project that I'm working on will be on this drive, and then the others will be on this large capacity 8 terabyte RAID Thunderbolt. And then I also like to back that up with like another drive. But it's just, the more redundancy you can have with these backups, the better. I edit on Final Cut X, and I also use Adobe Creative Cloud, Photoshop, After Effects, and I dabble in Premiere a little bit. I dabble in Premiere. Oh, real quick, this SD card goes into the Zoom H6. So 64 gigabytes will give you an infinite, near infinite amount of recording space for audio. Record in WAV, record in the highest bit depth possible. These headphones are way better than Beats in sound quality and build quality, so they're great for editing. Everyone needs a good knife, and this one has a really good, strong screwdriver. So knife and screwdriver are pretty much the two tools that I need on wedding shoots. And lastly, lights. You know, the Dido is great. Make sure you've got that extra bulb, the barn doors, and you know, the light stand for it. I also recommend the Torch LED, which is a softer light for filling. This is more of a sniping light for high and far. And then make sure you put a sandbag on the Dido. This is more of a mobile light that you can move around depending on where your subjects are for the, you know, lighting details as you're shooting them, or the toasts or the dances. Make sure you've got power cable. You don't know how far the outlets are. It's always good to have a backup like that. And it makes things safer because we've all seen like the cords like way too like hanging off the ground, and people are like, should I walk right through this or try to step over? Yeah, let's do it. And then that's when shit goes wrong. Sony battery kit is to power the Torch LED, and it's good to have the charger and an extra battery. And then I always bring gaffer's tape. You never know when you need it, and you usually do when lighting is involved, or really anything. Taping down cords, marking spots, just taping something up together at the last minute. And that's it. That's the professional kit. I haven't added up how much it actually costs, but each click will land you on the page to buy on Amazon, so you can check it out yourself. Let me know if you have any questions about the gear specifically. I know people always ask about like the connections, like how does this work with this? So let me know. I would be happy to explain that further. But let me know what kind of kit you would want in the future. I could do specialty kits. I was thinking about doing like the Ray Roman kit, exactly what he uses on his shoots. So let me know if that might be interesting. But until then, thank you for watching. See ya.